Hi everybody, it's the baseball head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, hi and welcome back to the baseball head. Hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. Alright, so we're back here at the baseball head. Now before we get into this video on the Mets, of course, I'm very close with my family, and I got a very late Christmas gift from one of my relatives, and I'm so happy about it. And I've been digging my other relative because he's a big Yankee fan. But I got this wonderful, terrific jersey from one of my relatives. And my one relative who's a Yankee fan is not too happy. I sent him a picture of it, and he wasn't too happy, folks. He wasn't too happy. So I got this beautiful Juan Soto jersey from Fanatics, from Nike, just wonderful. And I love him. I love my family. They're just wonderful people, and very lucky. I'm going to try to get this jersey, I put it on the side here, put this jersey somewhere, and I'll put it on the wall, hang it up on the wall. Very excited to see Juan Soto play every day for our New York Mets. And we can't ever forget that the Mets have had a tremendous offseason. No matter what anybody says, I don't care what anybody says, they've had a failed offseason. Bullshit. That's bullshit. You get that guy, he's a difference maker. Now, as you know, Pete Alonso's still out there. We're a couple of days away from Amazing Day, which there is going to be some news happening. I'm talking about jerseys. The Mets are changing their road jersey. I don't know about that. That's perfection. Perfection. Awesome jersey the Mets have on the road. They don't want to change that. Maybe add a jersey. I don't know if you take that jersey away. That's a great road jersey with the Grays. That's classic New York Mets. I wouldn't want to change that. Hopefully it's just an alternate that they're changing. But although they do a good job with the jerseys now, but we'll see. So we have Thursday and Friday. We've heard nothing about Pete Alonso. Heard a lot about the Blue Jays. Who knows? He screwed this up. No one the hell wants to go to the Blue Jays. They finished in 5th place. But let's talk about David Bednar, who's been the closer of the Pirates the last few years. Now, SI put out this article. Could the Mets trade for Pirates All-Star closer David Bednar? Now, a couple of videos ago, I talked about Ke'Bryan Hayes and how he is not happy with the way he's being coached. And his father is Charlie Hayes, the former major league player for the Phillies, played for the Yankees. He's not too happy either about that. And that's come from a lot of different places. That came from Michael Not So Okay, from the Yes Network. He's got, obviously he's the Yankee announcer. Works for ESPN. So he knows Charlie Hayes. So he's getting it from somewhere. He's getting it from Charlie Hayes because he was a broadcaster with the Yankees when the Yankees won the World Series in '96, and he was there in '97 with Charlie. So that's probably the source of that story. Also, and I didn't mention in the video on Ke'Bryan Hayes, they had a fan fest last week. Now, one question was answered. All questions about Hayes during this fan fest was basically pushed to the side. Also, the event, this is funny, the event was free, but people were posting pictures of expired soda that the fans had to buy. Soda that was expired in December. So in other words, they had extra soda lying around, and they just sold it to the fans. They didn't care if it was expired. What a great owner they got there. But here's about David Bednar. As you know, they signed A.J. Minter last week, and they have, of course, I think the Met bullpen's going to be pretty good. I also mentioned about Edwin Diaz. I think he's going to have a really good year coming up. Better than last year. Obviously, he's coming off that injury, and he's got an opt-out, folks. He has an opt-out after this season. What are the New York Mets' chances of trading for Pittsburgh Pirates closer David Bednar as a bounce-back candidate? The Mets recently inked former rival left-hander A.J. Minter to a 2-year, $22 million deal as their biggest bullpen move of the offseason thus far. As it stands, Minter will likely serve as the main setup man to elite hard-throwing closer Edwin Diaz for the Mets in 2025. But still possible the Mets, who are also in the high-priced Tanner Scott, could land another top, high-leverage relief pitcher. Scott was seeking a 4-year, $80 million deal, and free agency wound up with the Dodgers, as you know. I would mention about the Dodgers, let's just do what they got to do. Don't worry about what the Dodgers. You still got to play the games. And there's always injuries in the game. Everybody's getting all, going crazy and saying the Mets are falling behind. Let the season play out. Given the hefty price tag, the Mets pivoted from Scott, who they met with Rowe in the offseason, and signed Minter instead at a fair cost. Now, I've been talking about Minter for quite a while, that he should be a guy the Mets should be interested in because he's left-handed and he's been a very good reliever. Kirby Yates was another option that made sense for the Mets, but the Dodgers scooped him up right after Scott to make an already fierce bullpen even scarier for the defending champs. Beyond the free agent names still available, David Robertson, Carlos Estevez, who, he's an interesting case. He's been talking to the Reds tonight. So, Ryan Stanek, Phil Maton, I wouldn't go to Maton, Tommy Canley, Tim Hill, Andrew Chafin for the millionth time, Brooks Raley, although he's coming off Tommy John. Among others, there may be a trade option out there. Pittsburgh Pirates closer David Bednar is coming off a rough year, where he posted a 5.77 ERA and blew 7 saves and 30 chances across 62 appearances. Is a name that comes to mind as a bounce-back candidate. Bednar initially injured himself in spring training before struggling early in the regular season. He then strained his left oblique in June and missed a total of 3 weeks. As far as first half was, 5.01 ERA in 25 and a third innings, and the second half was worse, 6.75. Well, he must have been dealing with injuries. Bednar was moved out of the closer's role for the final month of the season due to his rough performance. Now he's owed $5.9 million in 2025. The right-hander was the National League saves lead in 23 and made back-to-back All-Star appearances in 22 and 23. Bednar's name has been brought up in trade rooms on numerous occasions ever since 21, when he initially broke out in Pittsburgh's bullpen as a late bloomer at 26. At the peak of his elite 3-year stretch from 21 to 23, the Pirates had decided to hold on to him despite not being in contention. Fast forward to the present day, and the belief is that the Pirates aren't interested in dealing him while his trade value was low coming off a bad year. That being said, if Bednar bounces back, he could be moved at the trade deadline if Pittsburgh is in the mix for a wild card spot by midsummer. Given that extra year of control, the Pirates could get a strong return back in the process. Despite the perception that the Pirates are unwilling to ship Bednar out before the season begins, that seemingly match up as trade partners. Maybe a Brett Beatty or a Starling Marte package could help Pittsburgh's offense compete behind 2024 ace and all-star sensation Paul Skeens and company. The Pirates would get 1 year of Marte at a discount as well as a potential third baseman of the future. But if the Mets are truly done adding to their infield and first baseman, Pete Alonso walks on free agency, they'd be likely to trade Beatty because he would be the leading candidate to win their third base job if Mark Vientos gets shifted to first. Now, I'll throw a suggestion out there. I think you know where I'm going with this. Let me get to the rest of the names. Now, they talked about, obviously, the Mets have this big pitching lab, and they did a great job with Minaya, Severino, Stanek, Maton. Jose Buto is a good example. And to Daniel Nunez, who's a big graduate of the pitching lab. But I'll give you an idea, and I guess you can kind of connect it to the video I did on Ke'Bryan Hayes. You trade, and we'll just do a mix. Starling Marte, Brett Beatty, give him a prospect, maybe a mid-range guy, a guy maybe from 10 to 15, or maybe trade Drew Gilbert and maybe a pitcher, and you send them to the Pirates for Bednar and Ke'Bryan Hayes. That way you can move Beatty out of here, and he can play third for the Pirates. Ke'Bryan can come here and play for the Mets. You move that's the case if Pete leaves. You put Vientos at first, and of course Bednar can be in the Mets bullpen and rehabilitate himself to be back, and that would be a very dominant end of the game. It would be extremely, extremely dominant end of the game. But let me know what you think about that. I think that's pretty interesting as I'm thinking about it. Interesting. And of course, leave a comment in the comments section. But again, isn't this a great, and it's a great jersey. And I love it. And I don't know if I want to wear it. I'll certainly have it on the channel all the time. So I want to thank my relative for that. And of course, if you're coming by for the millionth time, please hit the subscribe button before you go. I'm trying to get this channel, we're getting very close to 6,000 subscribers. Want to get to 7,500, but 6,000 is the next big goal. Getting awfully close to that. Also, we have memberships here. Trying to get a new computer. That's why this video went up so late, because the internet went down here. Had no internet, had no TV, no internet. Made HUD go something. Go crazy. Don't mind if I do. And that's exactly what happened here. But again, hit the memberships to help me get a computer. That's the basis of it. And of course, more rumors for you. This is all good. This has been a great off season. They got the big guy. You know the big guy, don't you? This is the big guy. The future Hall of Famer. Again, you didn't watch my video on Carlos Beltran not getting in the Hall of Fame. That is the third Met from the 2006 Mets that's in the Hall of Fame. Because we have Pedro, that's Skunk Tom Glavine, and of course Billy Wagner. And Beltran will be the fourth. Carlos Delgado should get another look, because his numbers are better. His numbers are better than Dave Parker's in terms of RBIs. He's got way more home runs, incredible amount of home runs. If he didn't have that hip injury at the very end of his career, he probably would have hit 500. He was a big run producer for over 10 years. Dave Parker was great in the 70s, and he kind of fizzled and he came back. He had two parts to his career. And of course, the Mets could have David Wright, who, if he hadn't gotten hurt, could have been a surefire Hall of Famer. And of course, they had an all-star shortstop and El Duque on that team. Isn't that interesting? And that team didn't win. Sometimes it's not who you have on your team, but how you beat them. Anyway, Skunk. Well, you get beaten by Adam Wainwright, it's probably going to be a Hall of Famer. That's going to kill you. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. And of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut, and I'll see you later.